We are now just 3 weeks out from the election, and a lot of factors weighing on investors, from the coronavirus vaccine to a stimulus stalemate, which could lead to a lot more volatility ahead for the markets. Joining us right now on the phone for an exclusive interview is SEC Chairman Jay Clayton. Mr. Chairman, we appreciate you joining us this morning. I want to talk to you about the prospect for volatility in a study that you just conducted. I know you're doing a roundtable on it as well, looking at the credit markets, and in particular the credit markets' connection to the equity markets. What did you think was the biggest finding from that? And the reason I ask is, ahead of this election, going into it, if we do get into a really volatile situation, what preparation plans is the SEC taking in advance, in the same way that some of the big tech companies are, for what could be several days, if not weeks, of unclear answers?
Good morning, Andrew. Thanks for having me on. And I think this is the third time, sort of at the beginning of earnings season, we've talked about these subjects. And look, you bring up a really good point. Information and understanding where we stand as an economy, or where you stand from a company, is so important to confidence. And what our roundtable today about is information about the credit markets, how they performed in March and April when we had times of uncertainty and stress, what measures the Federal Reserve and Congress through the CARES Act took to stabilize our credit markets, bring confidence back to them, and understanding that understanding of the size, scope, and interconnected nature of our credit markets is key if we have any additional periods of uncertainty going forward. We have a great lineup. We have Mark Carney, Laurie Logan from the Fed, Glenn Hutchins, who's familiar to all your viewers, Gary Cohn, all going to talk about that interconnectedness and understanding how credit works in our economy when you meet times of uncertainty.
So when you think about the lessons that you've learned from pursuing this study, what type of preparations is the SEC making? What kind of conversations have you had with the Federal Reserve? Is there advanced planning ahead of the election? Is that something that typically regulators like you do, and especially in this circumstance where there seems to be such anxiety that we won't get an answer in any immediate way?
You know, Andrew, I don't think anybody's thinking about a particular event, but there is advanced planning both on the funding side, which is much more the purview of my friends over at the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. And then on the operations side, I mean, we're always mindful that the pipes here continue to work. And whether that's a cyber issue, an information issue, those types of things, we get together and talk about those, both what I will say operational issues and then funding issues for markets. Markets need funding to work. And we think about anything that's going to dry up the type of liquidity you need for markets to work or affect the operations. And whether it's an election, an unexpected pandemic, or something else, that's part of our job.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.